Hey, good Monday morning. It's good to see you again. I'm glad you're here. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned about faith didn't come through my devotional readings. It actually came from, are you ready? A baptism. And the lesson centered around the Ten Commandments, and I really want to share with you this morning. So here we go. It's been about 8 years since the baptism of my granddaughter, Betsy. And I can remember it was a beautiful, sunny summer day, and it was a Saturday. So there were only about 30 of us in attendance, close family and friends. So the priest led us into the sanctuary and had us circle up around the baptismal font, which is the thing that holds the holy water you use during the ceremony. After a brief welcome, he looked at us and he said, "Okay, who here can recite the Ten Commandments?" Well, you could have heard a pin drop as we all looked at each other and started to panic a little bit because who knew there was going to be a quiz? Come on. Slowly but surely, though, we kind of got him out, I think. And I was watching the priest as we were going through this, and he kind of nodded his head in acknowledgement. But when we finished, he said the strangest thing. He said, I'm not sure, but I think you got him. Well, the next sound you could hear was the collective thud of our jaws hitting the floor, because I'm sure we were all thinking, what do you mean you think we got them? Don't you know what they are? You're a priest, for God's sake. Well, then, as though he was reading our minds, he said, to be honest, I really don't know the Ten Commandments well enough to be able to recite them off the top of my head. And frankly, I don't know many clergy who do. But then he said, but I do know two commandments like the back of my hand. And so at that point, he had us. And so we were hanging on his every word. Well, the first thing he said was to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And the second commandment is to love your neighbor as you love yourselves. You see, my friends, he continued, if you can just remember and follow those two commandments, the other 10 will take care of themselves. So what's the takeaway for today? Well, our learned priest was simply reminding us of Jesus' words that can be found in the Gold Nugget Bible verses from Matthew 22, verses 37 through 39. And no matter where you are in your faith journey, sometimes it's good to just be reminded of the simple truth we were reminded of that morning. Love is at the core of the Christian faith. And Jesus goes on in the final verse 40 of that chapter, to tell us that everything in the Christian faith is built on those two commandments. So in other words, love is the foundation that we should all be building our lives on. So this week, I hope and pray that you will face every task and every challenge of your life with a loving and caring heart. All right, that's a wrap for this week. Please share this with anybody you think might benefit. And until next week, stay strong, keep the faith, and we'll see you then.